After the real daughter was brought home, everyone hated me. My brother told me to keep my distance. Dad wanted me to give my boyfriend to my sister. Mom just looked at me with disgust and kicked me out of the house. I got hit by a car and died on the street. Then I opened my eyes and found myself back on the day the real daughter returned home. She had a little monologue above her head. Big sis pretends to welcome me, but will bully me at school. Mom and Dad will side with her. Should I just leave now? Wow, turns out she has a cheat code. But she doesn't know using cheats too much causes bugs. I stood at the door to welcome the real deal. Molly, welcome home. We'll be more than just classmates now. Molly, looking shy, hid behind her foster mom. A screen popped up above her head again. Big sis pretends to welcome, but will bully me at school. Mom and Dad will side with her. Should I just leave now? I noticed the family's eyes turned odd. The screen continued to change. I need to hide the burn on my hand. I must not let Mom and Dad know Big Sis got someone to burn me. I can't make things difficult for them. Molly kept tugging at her sleeves but couldn't hide the burn on her wrist. Looking at the injury, the foster family's confusion turned to anger. My brother Jack Green spoke first. Lily Green, you were adopted because Mom and Dad miss Molly too much. Know your place. Keep your distance from Molly at home and at school. Molly is my real sister. She suffered so much outside, and I won't let anyone hurt her again, not even you. The foster parents nodded in agreement. Someone was holding onto Molly's hands, giving her enough confidence to leave me hanging like an outsider with their hands in the air. So that's her cheat code. No wonder in my past life, despite doing nothing but trying to be the best sister, my family started hating me, ending in my tragic death. My eyes stung. 20 years of companionship meant less than her inner thoughts. I managed a smile. Molly, I have some burn ointment in my room. I'll get it for you later. The kettle exploded that day, and we were both nearby. Anyone would call us two of a kind. I rolled up my sleeve, showing a more horrifying burn. Molly awkwardly nodded. Foster parents' faces changed slightly, but their eyes still filled with concern for Molly's wound, not even sparing me a single glance. I looked up at Jack. Brother, I've always known my place, and I'll remember your words. Since there's nothing else, I'll head upstairs now. Once I understood my place in this house, I wouldn't do anything dumb to embarrass myself. Come dinner, I sat at the corner of the table. Molly's monologue hung above her head. Oh my God, I can eat without doing chores or taking beatings or tending to younger brothers. I've never seen this much food in my life. Wait, sis always says she's the Green's little princess. This must be how a princess lives. No wonder she's so fair and tall, unlike me, short and dark. Do Mom and Dad like sis more than me? I'd better just eat some veggies and be sensible. Foster Mom's expression stiffened with guilt looking at Molly. She piled Molly's bowl with lobster, chicken legs, and abalone. Glancing at me, her eyes showed resentment. Lily, eat more vegetables. You grew up in the Greens, don't act all nouveau riche with all that rich food. I looked at my bowl loaded with greens. She was just finding reasons to vent for her daughter, as if Molly's hardships were my doing. I carefully arranged each piece of veggie in my bowl on the plate. Mom, why don't you ask Ms. Wong to set aside what I should eat in a little dish each day so I don't get it wrong? After saying this, I quickly finished my meal and went upstairs. Foster Mom's voice trailed behind me. So Snide, did we raise you wrong? I didn't look back. I was not going to seek affection desperately like in my past life, hoping to fit into this family. Instead, I needed to find a way out. I'll keep selling my bags at the seafood market until I save enough for a down payment. My boyfriend Frank came to pick me up for his birthday party. I snuck downstairs, avoiding running into the family, but ended up bumping into Frank. He patted my head, smiling indulgently. What a little scatterbrain. Maybe it was the Smiths' influence, but the family watched with affection, and the mood was pretty good. Molly, this is your sister's boyfriend, Frank. Molly shyly lowered her head. Nice to meet you, Senior. Heard so much about you. Another inner monologue appeared. My crush is Sis's boyfriend. Whimper. I want to cry. But princes are meant for princesses. I don't deserve him. I'm still happy for Sis. I heard they had a family arrangement. If I hadn't been lost, would I have been the one by his side? It's just my bad luck. Foster parents' affectionate looks froze, but I smiled. This was my chance. In my past life I guarded and clung to Frank day and night, but Frank and Molly still ended up together in bed. At my engagement party, Frank publicly called it off, making me the laughingstock of the city. Such a lousy partner. This time I'll figure out how to make him more valuable. Just when you need something, an opportunity presents itself. Molly's monologue popped up. I bet Senior's birthday party is grand and fun. Too bad I'm just a country bumpkin and can't join. Foster dad couldn't sit still. Frank, mind taking Molly with you tonight to broaden her horizons? Frank looked at me. I put on a falsely resigned face but was inwardly thrilled. Foster mom picked out a strapless custom dress for Molly, and I didn't miss the amazed look in Frank's eyes. Frank's birthday party was filled with all the rich second-generation kids in the circle. The Green's real daughter's identity, naturally attracting all the attention. Everyone gathered to toast Molly, tossing in a harmless joke or two. Truth or dare? Molly lost and picked truth. The most carefree Sam asked, "Heard you almost got sold to a 50-year-old bachelor, true?" Molly's face turned tomato red. Tears were welling up in her eyes, and she bit her lip. "No, I didn't. I'd rather drink." Molly raised her glass, not looking to me, her sister, for help. Instead, she seemed to be moving subtly towards Frank. Frank pulled Molly into his arms, snagged the drink from her hand, and downed it in one gulp. "Leave the girl alone. If you've got beef, bring it my way." The crowd's eyes darted between me, Frank, and Molly. No one said a word. After a moment, someone broke the silence. "Guys have always been protective of their sisters-in-law. People need to understand that." Laughter erupted. I laughed too, because Molly's screen lit up again. The senior is way more boyfriend material than I thought. OMG, is this what it feels like to be protected? So jealous of my sister. Alright, she's more into him now. No one seemed to notice, only our family could see her inner monologue. With Frank having her back, Molly got livelier, blending into the games. Folks kind of indulged her on purpose, and she threw more tender looks Frank's way. The party didn't break up till the wee hours. Frank held me close, his voice raspy. "Lily, you wanna come spend the night with me?" His chiseled face had a tipsy charm that was hard to resist. In my past life it was this version of him that left me mesmerized, led me to him, only for him to dump me coldly. Not this lifetime. "Frank, we agreed only if we're engaged. You promised you'd respect that." Frank pouted. "I'm 24. Are you really okay with making me live like a monk?" My face grew warm. Turning away, I caught Molly's longing gaze. "Come on, Molly's right here. She's not an outsider." I excused myself to the restroom. Coming out, I found Molly sprawled limply in Frank's arms. "Seems like sis has been spoiled." Molly mouthed silently to me. "Has this great senior for a boyfriend and still wants to play the field. If it were me, I wouldn't leave him alone on his birthday." "Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said anything." Her covering her mouth with wide eyes tickled Frank into a smile. Seeing me, Frank stood up quickly to explain. Molly tripped just helping her up. I knelt next to Molly to check her leg. "Swollen, Frank. Can you carry her to the car?" Frank hesitated for a second, then scooped her up while Molly clung to Frank's neck bashfully. Afterwards, Frank started coming over more frequently to the Greens, supposedly to see me, though he spent most of it tutoring Molly. Jack demanded I prep late-night snacks for the two of them daily, urging me to experience life and help my sister improve too. "My pleasure, brother. I do the work, you pay up $500 a night. Sound good?" Jack begrudgingly wired me 15 grand. That day, when adoptive parents came home, Molly's screen flickered again. Feeling so stuck. My lover's so near, yet he's my sister's guy, and she's always hanging around with other dudes. Whatever, bad luck for me, didn't snag the senior. Might as well never marry, stick with my parents and make up for those lost years. Her foster parents exchanged a knowing glance. Later that night, my adoptive dad called me into his study. "Lily, we've raised you for over 20 years. We haven't shortchanged you. Never demanded repayment, but for your sister, could you let Frank go?" My eyes teared up, speechless.
"Dad, I'm adopted."
"Whatever you've given me, I'll return it. But Frank, he's a person, not something I own." My adoptive father interrupted, his demeanor turning cold. "Truth is, Frank's with you only because you're considered our daughter. Now that our real daughter's back, letting Molly have the engagement makes sense. We've already discussed it, break it off with Frank willingly, And we'll give you $1 million as compensation plus your dowry. We've always treated you like our own. Molly's the reason you lived well. Now asked to give a little for her, and you're unwilling? I chuckled humorlessly. You all planned this, now you're just giving me the heads up. Fine, a fair price. Dad, say no more. Rest easy, I'll break up with Frank. Tears fell as I spoke. He feigned comforting me, patting my shoulder. Didn't mean to wrong you, money will be in your account soon. Last life, my love for Frank was deep. When Dad approached me back then, I didn't budge. Dad slapped me a few times, accused me of cutting the hand that fed me. Now here he was pretending to be the devoted father. Once the $1 million hit my account, I immediately went house hunting in City B. Only in this life, Frank wouldn't agree to switch engagements, staying in our apartment complex persistently. When I signed the purchase agreement and got back, it was his third day waiting downstairs. My adoptive father, ever the businessman, saw Frank's loyalty to me. He's realized I still have value, so he softened up again, greeting me warmly when I got back. But Molly broke her silence. The next morning when Dad left early, she made her case. Her sister's playing Frank and a married man. Last time I caught her with him. Dad says he's paid her off too. I'm a sinner suspecting Dad and Sis. Can't let Mom know this, she'll worry. My adoptive mom approached, wordlessly striking me across the face. I don't have a shameless daughter like you. Get out and never come back. A worthless brat like you will always be worthless, my foster mother yelled. In my past life, my foster mom hit me till I was dizzy and I stumbled into the street, only to get hit by a car and die. But this time, before I could even leave, my foster mother fainted first. It's an old issue. Jack skillfully carried her to the bedroom to wait for the family doctor. Now it was just me and Molly in the living room. She stepped closer, eyes filled with malice. You've been freeloading in my house for over 20 years, living off our money, and now you're trying to steal my fiancé, you low-life imposter. I want to see what you'll do after being kicked out without your heiress title. Oh, and be careful when you step outside, okay? I heard bad people often get hit by cars, Molly sneered. In my past life, after the accident, my soul floated in the air. I saw a woman paying a driver to run, but I couldn't make out her face. Now that woman's face matches with the Molly in front of me. So it was Molly who orchestrated that car accident too. Remembering the pain from my previous life made me tremble. I couldn't bear it for another second. As Molly gloated, I slapped her across the face twice. What's wrong, trash can?
I snäppte här.
Molly, shocked and furious, lunged at me. How dare you hit me, you little brat? Easily avoiding her, I slapped her again. I hit you because I can. There's no special occasion needed. Just then Jack came out of the room. Lily, what are you doing? But his words stopped as Molly's phone displayed her internal thoughts. As long as I play weak, dumb Jack will defend me. It'd be perfect if they fought each other to death, so all of the Green's wealth would be mine alone. The inner monologue turned back to what everyone else could see. It's all my fault. Oh brother, please don't hurt sister because of this. Jack looked shocked. My mind raced and I blurted out, I hit you because I can, no special occasion needed, alright? Molly's inner thoughts surfaced again. Why isn't this idiot hitting her yet? Can't even fight one girl? Pathetic. So, it seems there's a glitch with this internal monologue thing. Now I'm interested. Molly kept looking to Jack to defend her. He hesitated for a while. You two stop it. Don't make a scene for the doctor, he finally said. Molly was stunned, frozen in disbelief as Jack refused to side with her. This must be the first time since she entered this family that she wasn't doted on. I chuckled coldly, just wait for what's coming to you. Mother soon regained consciousness. Molly sat by her bed, purposely showing off her swollen face, shedding tears like falling pearls. Oh, with Mom not feeling well, I better not mention my face got swollen from sister's slap. I don't want Mom getting upset. Seeing Molly's face, my foster mother was about to explode, but I interrupted with a whisper. I hit you because I can, no special occasion needed. Her internal monologue instantly flipped. What, is this old hag blind too from fainting? Can't she see my face is swollen? She should be standing up for me. Kicking out that witch Lily. Mother coughed weakly, getting more breathless. I seized the opportunity. Mother, I know you're upset, and it's my fault you're mad. I'm sorry. Please let me rub your heart like I did when I was a kid. You used to say it eased your pains, and that Lily should stay by your side for life. My eyes glimmered with tears ready to fall. It's my fault, Mom, for not keeping my promise to be with you forever. If tomorrow you're still mad, I swear you won't see me again. I quietly repeated the trigger phrase and predictably, the internal monologue lit up. Did Lily suddenly get smart and learn from me? This old lady seems to be soft-hearted now? She must be some saint. I even tried to frame Lily with having an affair with her husband, but she still didn't flinch. Meanwhile, Molly cutely said, "Mom, can I help massage you too? I feel so guilty, 20 years and I never took care of you." She then began to cry again. My foster mom's expression twisted for a second, then returned to normal. "Let your sister do it. She's more practiced," my foster mom said. Molly's hand froze mid-air, helpless. Her internal thoughts mirrored her frustration. Mom always favors sis. Maybe I should just cry myself to death. Mother shooed her away. Molly ran out sobbing, but her internal monologue gave her away. "Just wait for my next move. I'll show you. If she wants to play with fire, let her. I want to see her reaction when she finds out we've all seen her unfiltered thoughts and tricks." Perhaps because she remembered the 20 years I've been by her side. Or maybe she doubted Molly's recent inner thoughts. My foster mom didn't actually make me leave. Molly was furious and didn't come downstairs for days. I guess she was planning something big. On the day she returned home, invitations were sent to all prominent families in this city. A special dinner party was planned to announce Molly as our family's daughter, and she would officially become Molly Green. Today was the day of the party. Dressed in a princess gown and adorned with jewelry worth millions, Molly looked innocent and lively. Even her internal monologue seemed charming. "From today, I'm truly Mom and Dad's daughter. They cherish me so much. I wonder if sister will be sad. I promise to take good care of her." As their biological daughter, my foster mom embraced Molly tenderly. "It's good to have you back. Get along with your brother and sister well." Molly nodded obediently. As the party began, my parents gave a speech on stage. Meanwhile, Molly and I were waiting upstairs. The spiral staircase was curtained off, so the event hall couldn't see us. When the MC announced, "Miss Molly, please come up," Molly turned to me with a bright smile. "Sister, you've taken what's mine for so long. Today, time to return it all with interest. From now on, I'm the only daughter of this family." In the next moment, Molly tumbled down the stairs. Everyone's eyes were fixed on her. She lay on the ground looking at me in pain. "Sis, why did you push me? If you're unhappy with me coming back home, I'll just return to my foster parents' place. Even though I get hit a lot there, do chores every day, get frostbite in winter, and heat rashes in summer, at least I'm not singled out for no reason. These stairs are so high, do you want me dead?" The crowd was in an uproar. Guests whispering to each other. Frank's parents shook their heads at me with disappointment. My foster parents looked furious, and Jack's expression was complicated. "Great, everyone's here. I'd hit you whenever I want. No need to pick a day." My inner monologue surfaced. The surveillance was already off, and my phone was with the waiter. "Even if I framed you, what could you do about it? Lily, you've hogged my spotlight for too long. Today I won't let you have another chance. After today, forget the Smiths and the Greens. There won't be a place for you in the whole of a city." My foster parents frowned, their eyes full of shock. Their gaze moved from Molly to me, silent for a long time. I knew they were making a choice. Molly, feeling ignored, quickly called out, "Mom, I hurt all over. It hurts so much." My foster mom snapped back. "Let's get her to the hospital first. Jack, take your sister to the hospital." Jack didn't move, only coldly summoned 2 waiters to carry Molly out. Molly at this point cried out, tears rolling down her innocent and pitiful face. "Mom, I'm scared of strangers touching me. Brother, sis doesn't like me. Do you not like me because I grew up in the countryside? I know I'm not as smart and pretty as sister, but brother, I'm your real sister." Jack lost his patience completely. "Molly, you really don't deserve it. Don't think I don't know what you've done." The atmosphere was awkward. The booths were sobbing quietly. I knew this home won't accept me. "Mom, let me go back." Frank approached Molly, and she looked even weaker in his presence. "Don't blame sister, it's all B." Frank ignored her, rushed up the stairs and held my hands tightly. "Lily, don't be scared. I'm here." All because of that sorry in a past life that Molly was the Greens princess. And I had to follow my family's plan. It was hard to forget. I almost got emotional. Just then, someone commented out loud, "How can you raise children like this? There are so many people here, and they're openly bullying the sister. This child has already suffered so much outside. You should educate them better, especially that adopted one. Where's the family love?" Exactly, their own child suffered with foster parents, while they pamper the foster child. And Frank, he's really got his head turned around. They treat this Lily like she's something special. Frank's parents declared on the spot they wouldn't allow an evil foster daughter like me into their family. Under all the accusations, my foster dad finally made a decision. He looked at me sternly. "Lily, we've treated you well. Even after your sister came back, we loved you the same. I even gave you $1 million hoping you'd feel secure. Didn't expect you to be so ungrateful." My foster mom, supporting Molly, didn't dare to look at me, just nodded in agreement. "All right, Lily knows she was wrong." My foster dad insisted, "Come down and apologize to your sister, or you won't step into the greens again." Everyone nodded in agreement. I chuckled. "Dad, I haven't done anything. Why should I apologize?" Frustrated, he retorted, "There were only you two on the stairs. If it wasn't you, then did she just roll herself down? There are cameras everywhere. She couldn't be that stupid." "So Dad believes I'm that stupid? That I'd push her with cameras around? It's different for you. You have money, you could pay the staff to turn off the cameras." Disappointed, I closed my eyes. In the end, he chose to abandon me. A seasoned strategist for sure, pinning the bribery on me to shield his daughter. Right on cue, the hotel manager reported that the cameras in that area were indeed tampered with. People gossiped more, cementing the image of me, fake heiress who tried to harm the true green heiress. Some even suggested calling the police. Molly seemed to forget her pain at this moment. "Dad, I believe my sister just got scared of losing your love and acted impulsively. We can't call the police, it would ruin her and impact the greens." Everyone praised Molly's maturity, making me look even more selfish. Molly looked at me smugly, eyes full of provocation. I gazed at her coldly, waited for the crowd's outrage to peak, then spoke calmly. "Tired of the act? Well, it's my turn now." I knew the booths wouldn't let me off easily. Even though I had her bug, I was cautious, unsure who my foster parents would choose, her or me. Luckily, I had a backup plan. Under everyone's watchful eyes, I reached into the camellia on my dress, pulling out a small camera I'd hidden. I moved to the control panel, calmly connecting to Bluetooth. The booth stared at me, fear replacing their earlier challenge. I ignored their silent pleas. "When you framed me, stole my boyfriend, and tried to kill me, did you have any mercy?" I gave a slight smile, pressing play. The screen, previously showing Molly's strength and independence, flipped to her standing on the stairs, smiling at me. "Sister, you've taken my things long enough. Today you'll pay back in full. From now on, the Green's daughter is only me." Then she threw herself down the stairs. A high-definition display, even more lifelike than the movies. Molly shook her head wildly. "No, it's not like that." She wanted to argue, but nothing came out. She lay weakly on the ground, crying about how she couldn't stand the pain. In the end, the two waiters carried her to the car. The dinner party ended with a drama of real and fake heiresses. At the hospital, Molly underwent a full-body checkup, and wasn't even hurt. Jack watched his adoptive parents with cold eyes. "You know she's framing Lily, so why do you protect her?" They stayed silent. Molly started crying again. "Mom, Dad, I was just insecure. I was scared you wouldn't like me. I wanted some of your love. I didn't mean to. Look, I'm hurt too." When she got no response, she kept crying. "If I'm not welcome here, send me back to my old home." She acted like she was about to faint. I said coldly, "No need to leave. I'll do it." That's when they finally turned to me. "Lily, we were fooled by your sister. We're sorry. You'll still be our good daughter." Their words didn't mean anything to me anymore. I leaned in toward them. "Actually, like you, I can read Molly." "Oh, Molly's monologue. The moment you chose to cover for her, I stopped being your daughter." After that, I turned and left. My adoptive father shouted, "We raised you for over 20 years. Does that little bit of grievance make you want to die? I didn't even blame you for causing this scene today, making the Greens look like a joke. And you're throwing a fit." I paused but kept walking. Furious, he yelled, "If you leave, don't ever come back." My adoptive mother chimed in. "Don't mind her, she doesn't have anyone. Nowhere else to go. Only Jack chased after me. Lily, I owe you an apology. If you ever need anything, reach out. I waved him off and hurriedly left the hospital hallway. I went to City B that night. Molly texted me, even if you have the video, it doesn't matter. You're the one who got kicked out. That's right, she said, as an orphan you can't understand the value of blood ties. I just deleted it. Frank called me over 10 times but I didn't pick up. School starts in a few days, so I thought I'd find a part-time job here since from now on I'm on my own. On the first day of school I saw Molly. She got out of a limited edition Maybach. While envious classmates gathered around, she looked at me smugly and shouted, "What was stolen will eventually be returned. Kneel and apologize," she said, "and I'll ask Mom and Dad to let you come back home to work as a maid." I rolled my eyes at her. "I still have backups of the video showing you falling down the stairs. Want everyone to see it?" Molly's face turned ghostly pale. "I'll also correct you, Molly," I continued. "Your abduction wasn't my fault. I was adopted by the Greens legally. Stop saying I stole something from you, or I'll consider charging you with defamation. As long as you don't mess with me, you can have the Greens and Frank. Promise." Frank pushed through the crowd, his eyes red. "Lily, why are you so cold toward me? I've been looking for you for a week, and you're ignoring my messages and calls. Do you not want me anymore?" I looked him in the eye and said, "Frank, when you flirted with Molly for the nth time, we were done. The Greens offered me $1 million if I'd give you up to Molly. I accepted." Frank looked desperate. "I wasn't flirting, Lily. You never wanted to spend the night, and she was so forward. I wanted you to get jealous." I shrugged. "Too late. I don't care anymore. Consider it my escape plan." "I won't give up on you, Lily," Frank's voice called after me. I didn't look back. Meanwhile, Molly focused on flaunting her lifestyle, the bags, jewelry, a new villa from her parents. While her classmates isolated me, she was too busy to bother me. I started working on my social media account and gained quite a few followers. Near summer break, my adoptive parents showed up at school. Molly looked smug. They came straight to me. "Lily, come home. If you need something from me, I'll fulfill my duty. But our relationship is over." They insisted, "Lily, the Greens need you. The only way for us to get funding is if you marry into the Smiths. You love Frank and it'll help the family." I cut them off. "Sir, Frank and I broke up your idea, remember? So I can't help you. But you can," my adoptive father insisted. "When I went to the orphanage, the fortune teller said you'd bring us luck. Look, once you joined the Greens, we thrived. When you left, we declined. So, adopting me was all about the fortune teller's prediction, huh?" Even though I've seen through their true colors, my heart still couldn't escape the bittersweet ache. I shook off my adoptive father's hand, saying, "Sorry, I'm not going back." At the same time, a graceful middle-aged woman approached me, stared at me for a while, and suddenly burst into tears. "Lily, it's been 20 years and I've finally found you. If it weren't for your video on the platform, I would have never known if I could ever meet you again in this lifetime." The elegant middle-aged man beside her got teary-eyed too. "Lily, I'm your dad." I looked at them confused. Some people in the crowd recognized them as the richest couple in B City, the Booths. The woman showed me a picture of her when she was young, and she did look a lot like me. They brought a professional team to take our hair samples for a DNA test. A few days later, the report confirmed that I was indeed their daughter. Mom and Dad embraced me, overflowing with joy and tears. My adoptive parents quickly ran over to them, seeking credit for raising me. Dad shielded me, saying, "But you also hurt her." After thinking for a while, he still agreed to fund the Greens with $50 million as the compensation for raising Lily for the past 20 years. "From now on, Lily has nothing to do with you." While I was in my senior year, I became an intern at Dad's company, moving away from a city, the Greens, and Molly. A year later, one day, Molly suddenly showed up at the booths, tearfully begging me to take her in. Of course, I didn't agree. She suddenly pulled a knife to stab me, but my 2 bodyguards subdued her in an instant. She cursed at me viciously. "You ruined me. Why do you get to turn around and become the richest daughter? I'm not satisfied. Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me." Jack and Frank arrived and saw Molly subdued, breathing a sigh of relief. Turns out Molly hadn't changed her ways. After I left, she used the same tactics on Jack, aiming to take over the Greens. Recently, She even secretly sold the Green's core technology to a rival and framed Jack for it. She didn't know that the day I left the Greens, Jack wired $1 million into my account. Every day since, he would apologize to me. One day, feeling soft-hearted, I told Jack the password to activate Molly's inner monologue bug. With the password, Jack got Molly to confess in her inner monologue. Following this lead, my adoptive parents indeed found out it was Molly, and in anger, they kicked her out of the Greens. They also sued her for stealing trade secrets. Desperate, Molly turned to me, hoping I would take her in, but when I refused, she went down a drastic path. Now she faces an additional charge. While the police were transporting Molly to the station, she attempted to escape and was struck by oncoming traffic. In the hospital, she muttered, "With my cheat codes, how could I lose?" I whispered in her ear, "Because in this life, I can not only see your inner monologue but also flip it. Whatever you're thinking, your inner monologue reveals. You don't even know how dark it gets." She took her last breath, not at peace. Frank caught up with me. I should have known long ago that, like me, you awoke to memories of our past life one day. Otherwise, how could you be so resolute? I didn't respond. Oh, so his change in this life was because he remembered things from the past life one day. Lily, I regretted it. After you died in the last life, I realized how deeply I loved you. So this life, I want to make it up to you. Would you give me another chance? I shook my head. No. Perhaps, do you even know the despair of having your heart pulled out of your chest and then tossed decisively into the cold, harsh snow? Frank mumbled to himself. I should have known. How could you possibly forgive me? I should have known. Yeah, I definitely won't. The end.